Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/theb+ and subscribe today.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre!
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list!
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy! Goodbye and good night. Hold two, on bar!
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy!
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, the moss covered, three-handle family Gradunzo.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin! Number 4, armbar! I will never retire! I still got 200 more! I got 200 more holes to lift!
Alright, cobbers, welcome to another episode of the B Plus Podcast. I am your host, Big Boy Mikey. I am today joined by Potato and Receipt Dan as we look into reviewing the PWA Black Label event for this Friday night. Welcome, Dan. How you going?
I'm excellent, Mikey. Pumped for this Friday, mate. Absolutely pumped. Just like I'm sure that you are. It's going to be a great show.
Oh, bloody oath. It's going to be a really big show. A couple of big names missing off the card. Well, one in particular, obviously, no Robbie Eagles this week. But regardless, I guess we got to kind of look towards PWA cards being minus Robbie going forward. So not all the time, but I'm sure he'll still be a couple of PWA shows through the year. But due to his New Japan contracts and obligations, there'll be times where he misses out on PWA shows, and we just got to kind of, look at a card and go, you know what, that card's strong enough even without Robbie to be entertaining, and obviously no Jonah Rock going forward, obviously. So interesting times ahead, hey?
Oh, definitely. But you kind of touched on it. The roster itself is so deep. There's so much talent, and we're all extremely happy and proud of Robbie Eagles. And we saw some of the news that he'll be taking part in the Ring of Honor New Japan shows. So, that's all beckoning for him. And yeah, the talent at PWA, it's basically overflowing. So there's plenty of people, we're seeing some debuts in this particular show. So the show must go on, and it's going to go on in a big way.
So before we get into the card, two things that blend into one. So let's talk about, obviously the last show was very, very emotional with Diego's last show as the in-ring announcer. So we will find out this week who is the replacement. I'm guessing that's going to coincide with the PWA Twitch stream tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
To be honest with you, I'm not sure. I'm excited to see who PWA have chosen. There's a few people around the New South Wales scene, also internally in their own promotion as well, that'd be more than capable of taking over the ring announcing role. It's just a matter of who they decide to go with and what that person's going to bring to the role. I mean, Diego brought one perspective to the ring announcer role, but yeah, depending on who they choose, we could see somebody bring something completely different and give a fresh perspective on PWA Black Label going forward.
So based on Diego's replacement, so tomorrow night at 7 p.m, PWA are doing a live Twitch stream, which I just touched on. Now, our super producer, Mr. Greg Unchained, had a interview with Unsocial Jordan, and we do have a clip to play that could lead to something being revealed tomorrow night. Let's have a listen.
He's definitely not going to get any revenge for Diego. In fact, I am stoked Diego is gone. I've heard. Now, I can't give you the deets. I can't give you the hook on this. And I know you want it, but we have a very special, very talented ring announcer that is going to replace Diego. And everyone is going to be so appreciative of it.
So a replacement has been found for Diego.
A replacement has been found. Much better, more professional. Doesn't try and dance for the monkeys. Hopefully. If he does, I might have to adjust another announcer.
So, listening to that, what do you think, Dan?
I'm not intelligent enough to pick up on the hints there, but no, it could be very interesting. It sounds like we could very well indeed get a very different perspective from the ring announcer position come this Friday. So it's actually made me more excited for the show. What do you think, Mikey?
Yeah, mate. Well, there's an interesting word. There's a single word that he that Unsocial Jordan accidentally let in there. He did use the word he. So, see, my first thought was Cripple H or Heather, as she's been doing a lot of work alongside Diego, either at the commentaries desk or at the with the ring bell and all that. So I kind of thought maybe she was sort of like learning from him or something like that, and I thought she'd be the step up. But now that he said it's a he, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very special guest as well. Sounds like somebody that Unsocial Jordan is familiar with and is really happy to have in that role. So, yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see, I guess. Hopefully we do hear some more on the stream tomorrow. Maybe we get a hint, or maybe we're just going to have to wait until that PWA theme music's finished on Friday night and somebody walks out to welcome us to PWA Black Label.
Right, yeah. It's going to be very interesting. I think they need to make sure that it's different, and they will. But Diego, there's no replacing Diego, and you can't replace Diego. So you got to change up and do something new. So be interesting. It'd be interesting to see who they get. There's potential guys in Wrestling Go and all that, like you were touching on earlier, that they could use someone there, or who knows. And they got so many guys in the academy. One of them might be a really good talker, might be a really good commentator. So could see. But let's run down the card.
Let's do it, man. There's some excellent matches on there to go through, so let's just get stuck straight into it.
All right. We will start with what is the most. We'll go from most recent announced to the oldest announcement, because obviously the oldest announced match is the most important match we need to talk about. So let's start with the most recent. We've got Luciano taking on Mikey Broderick of the Team DK. Very interesting matchup. It's not a matchup that I was expecting at all to be announced for this show, but I like it. Luch is coming out of his skin like a madman. He's amazing in ring, and Broderick is just he's just shoulders and muscles, but in a good way. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, like you said, we've got Lucci, who, the Eco Warrior is extremely talented, but he hasn't had the greatest run in PWA, and he's coming up against the Universal Soldier, Mikey Broderick. This is sort of a heel versus heel contest. TMDK have been getting some pretty important victories in PWA. Mikey Broderick in this instance appears to be on his own. He doesn't have Damian Slater for backup, but he's going to be out to do some damage, and I think a beatdown on Lucci is just what he wants to do come Friday.
Yeah. Well, like you said about Lucci and his, I know, like he's not picking up so many wins and stuff in PWA. I'm not gonna in another promotion unnamed. Recently, I watched him. He is absolutely phenomenal. I've always thought so with PWA. Don't get me wrong, I've always thought he's amazing, but I've seen him be unleashed, and he's got some some lucha moves in his moveset that I'm like, where the hell did that come from? He's super entertaining, and being against Mikey, like you said, as heel versus heel, he'll actually get a face rub out of this, because TMDK will get a more heel, you get a more heel reaction than Lucci. And I think if Lucci puts up a good fight, but still maybe drops the match, because I'm saying Mikey's going to win, but I don't want that. I'd rather Lucci win. But if Lucci can put up a good show, maybe it's slowly turn him face. I didn't expect.
Maybe. It's an interesting thought. In regards to his moveset, you're spot on. I mean, even at the last PWA show, when he took on Shazza McKenzie, if I'm not mistaken, he did this really awesome springboard corkscrew elbow drop thing. It was super impressive. I remember seeing it live and then just thinking, wow, I didn't expect it. He definitely has phenomenal talent in ring. And I love the guy's microphone work, the signage, not your mother, not your milk. He's done the great promos with the sanitation commissioner angle as well, which will be interesting to see whether that has something to do with this match as well. Do we see a big fudge appearance to try and put Lucci off his game as well? It could be very interesting. It could be a very interesting outcome with this match.
Yeah,
but Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say. So, what's your prediction for the win here?
Unfortunately for Lucci, I think it'll be Mikey Broderick, the Universal Soldier, getting another win in PWA and sort of pushing TMDK's agenda.
Yeah, I agree. I'm choosing Mikey on what I believe will happen, but my heart's with Lucci on this one. Okay, then. All right, so the next match let's talk about. Let's discuss the other one-on-one that's very interesting. Shazza McKenzie versus Tyler Payne. Again, a very random matchup that I just did not expect to be announced for this show, but I love it. This has history dating back to the Fatal 4-Way show at Pato RSL last year when Tyler Payne, or AKA Snapchat, put Shazza McKenzie through a table with a Michinoku driver on the outside in their TLC match against between the Babes and SMS and Shazza and Fudge. So it's got some history there. This is going to be interesting for me. Tyler is a big boy, but Shazza can handle herself very, very well in this match. And I'm proud of myself that I did not use the word intergender wrestling at all going into this, and I'm staying away from it.
It's just a wrestling match, just like you said.
Just wrestling.
It's a big step up in competition for Shazza. She did face Lucci at the last show, and I don't mean to rub Lucci's face in it, but again, he hasn't been on the greatest run. Where Tyler Payne, as Snapchat, and has been on a phenomenal run in PWA, and his match with Robbie Eagles, despite being a losing effort, was outstanding. It is a big step up in competition, and for Shazza to get a win over Tyler Payne would certainly put her a massive step closer to being able to be considered as the number one contender for the PWA Championship. There would still be more matches to come, I imagine, but taking out a level of that competition like Tyler Payne would be a massive win for Shazza McKenzie.
Yep, I agree. It's going to be interesting because this could be Shazza's last PWA match for a couple of months, as I know she's got an American assignment for a few months, from April to June. So unless there's another card before April, which I don't think there will be. So I think Shazza does leave on a high here. I think she goes on her American trip as somewhat of a number one contender, or join the ranks of number one contenders, in my opinion, but to the PWA title, and potentially maybe we get to quarter arms with a title for title match and to unify the titles. So yeah, my pick to win this is going to be Shazza, but it's going to be a lot different to Shazza versus Lucci, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a completely different match. I think Tyler Payne brings a different style. As you said, he's a bigger guy. Big step up in competition like we touched on. I think Shazza McKenzie gets the win here. She goes over to America for a few months and gets to have a bit of fun over there. And we'll see her back in PWA soon, hopefully. And they'll just be able to continue right where they left off, with her taking on someone else again to put her that one step closer to the PWA Championship.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And let's stay on the female side of things. And I don't know whether to call this a women's division match or do we just call it another match. We got a really fun Fatal 4-Way happening this Friday night between Jessica Troy, Xena, Candy Lee, and Belle Pierce. Very interesting matchup with four very interesting superstars. Xena is a recent FWA champion, women's champion. Belle Pierce, she's been doing good things up in Newey Pro and in PWA. Candy Lee, I'm not too familiar with. I'm guessing she's more wrestling go, isn't she?
She's actually from New Zealand.
Oh, my apologies. There we go.
Yeah, so she's been a champion over in New Zealand, doing some wonderful things over there. And it's about time that she's been given the opportunity to come to Australia and show her stuff against some of the best that Australia has to offer. So very excited to see Candy Lee.
I'm excited because this is one competitor on this card that I really didn't know much about at all going into this. For some reason I had Wrestling Go in my head, but yeah, no, fantastic Xena. Like I said, Xena doing a thing, but obviously you got Jessica Troy in this match, the veteran, the PWA, the Four Nations member. This is going to be a great Fatal 4-Way. What do you think of this match, and where do you think this plays out to?
Well, this is actually a really interesting contest because we were talking about Shazza McKenzie, her legitimacy as a champion in the eyes of guys like Jack J. Bonza. This is actually a number one contenders match for the PWWA Championship.
Right, yes.
So we've got Jessica Troy, we've got Xena, we've got Candy Lee, and we have Belle Pierce, all competing for an opportunity to possibly face Shazza McKenzie for the PWWA Championship. So four very talented wrestlers in their own right. Like you said, Belle Pierce has been doing some wonderful things. Her gimmick is fantastic. I like the whole Zen and meditation thing, and she's been performing extremely well. She was in a battle royale a couple of shows ago to get a shot at Caveman Ugg if she was to win, and she did quite well, only being eliminated by Adam Hoffman, who was the eventual winner.
Yes.
You also got Xena, who has been doing some fantastic things in other promotions. So we get to see her strut her stuff inside a PWA ring. And it's not going to be an easy match for her at all, taking on Candy Lee, who I mentioned is a champion from New Zealand. she's come to Australia for a challenge. So she's going to be firing on all cylinders as well. And then who could forget the Destroyer, who most recently submitted Michael Spencer. She just was rabid in that match with those arm bars, and Michael Spencer had no choice but to tap. And if that version of Jessica Troy comes in this match, good luck to the other three competitors.
Right. Well, yeah. Like you said, her win against Michael Spencer, Jess Troy's win against Michael Spencer was just that was just clinical. Nearly every single move that she pulled off was the armbar to try and just end it quickly, just to destroy her. So yeah, I'm gonna say that Jessica Troy picks this up and picks this victory up. I say she gets the number one contendership against Shazza McKenzie. And maybe she takes the title from Shazza, and maybe PWA take the the Four Nations take the PWA title, and yeah.
I have to agree with you. I hate to be boring, but Jessica Troy is just super impressive, and I think the cream rises to the top, and I think she'll rise to the top this Friday, and she'll be in a position to take on Shazza McKenzie, whether you say, as you said, there's a show prior to Shazza going or when she gets back. But that'll be a hell of a match if that happens. Yeah. But we'll get through Friday first.
Absolutely. We're going with Jessica Troy in this. Now, a couple of very interesting tag team matches that we should touch on. I don't know which one to talk about first, but let's go with the Velocities versus the finally debuting Kelly Gang. Well, yeah, Kelly Gang. It's not the Beach Babes that some people might expect from other promotions. It is the Kelly Gang. Is consisting of regular Beach Babe Will Keatis, and you got Sam Osborne joining Jackson Kelly here as the Kelly Gang. In a match against Velocities as a 6-man team for the first time in PWA. There haven't been a 3-man tag yet. They've done different things with the tournament and whatnot. So this is going to be really, really interesting. What's your thoughts going into this one?
When this got announced, I got really excited. We've been teased in a way with Jackson Kelly and Sam Osborne and Will Keatis. All three of these guys are at PWA shows all the time. They're always in the gear, the staff gear. They played security in a confrontation featuring the Velocities at the last show. Jackson Kelly even jumped in the ring with no shoes on. A little bit of Matt Riddle for you, almost. To break up the scuffle between Matt Rogers and the Velocities. But these guys have been tearing up the New South Wales scene. Sam Osborne was on the B Plus podcast at the start of January. He was one of the wrestlers that was chosen because they wrestle good and probably do other stuff good too. He was the pick for New South Wales. So you can go back and listen to Greg Unchained's interview with Sam Osborne.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's been doing wonderful things with all the different promotions in New South Wales, as has Jackson Kelly, as has Will Keatis, and finally the three of them debut for PWA, and it's a big, big test for them because they're taking on three of the most exciting wrestlers in PWA in the Velocities. You know, Paris De Silva has been incredible. Matt Diamond, again, fantastic, super athletic. And then Jude the Dude London as well. Again, very athletic. The high-flying nature of these three guys, it gets the best out of the crowd. And, yeah, I'm just really excited to see the three guys team together in PWA for the first time. Hard to pick a winner, though, Mikey. I'm leaning towards the Velocities. What are you thinking?
I don't know about the wins. I do have a question, and I don't know if anyone at PWA can answer this for me, or if I hope I'm not pushing any awkward buttons. I don't want to get any weird flack from this question, but I just want to know why no Brad Alexander. I love Sam Osborne. He's a fantastic talent. I finally got to watch him live for the first time last week. Why no BA? Why no Brad Alexander? Is he just not available, or if I'd love the actual proper all three of them, but all the three of these guys are amazing. Will Keatis, I absolutely love that guy. He is so fun to watch. He's so entertaining. But Jackson Kelly, if PWA want to build around somebody over the next 12 months, just like Newey Pro have done, just like IWA have done, just like PWA have done around guys like Robbie and that, Jackson Kelly needs to be one of the next top guys in PWA. He is, in my opinion, one of the best talents in this country. Every time I've seen him, he puts everything out there, regardless of what promotion it is. He has a passion for wrestling that is second to none. Like, this is a guy that had nearly a career-ending injury not so long ago. He's trained under Seth Rollins' Black and Brave promotion over in America. He's a fantastic talent. I think my heart says I want Jackson Kelly to win. I'm very sorry, Velocities. I love you. My heart says I want Jackson Kelly Gang to win, but I think Velocity is going to win here. And maybe is there something to do with Matt Rogers in this match?
Yeah, quite possibly, Mikey.
Good.
There was a physical altercation at the last show, wasn't there? I mean, Jude the Dude London, after being politely declined once again, he slapped Matt Rogers. He took exception to the way Matt Rogers spoke to the team, and he slapped him pretty hard. So I think there could be some ramifications for Jude the Dude London and the Velocities. So we'll just have to wait and see what Matt Rogers has in store for them come Friday.
Yeah. And what do you think about my question about BA Brad Alexander? What do you think about that? Like, where do you lie on it?
Look, I don't. I'm not too sure why he hasn't been chosen, but I think the important thing to note is that Sam Osborne is a phenomenally a bit tongue twisted there. Phenomenal talent, and he's been doing some wonderful things. And I think you'll find, give the guy a chance. I think he will fit quite well into the Kelly gang. I don't think that PWA would have done this half cocked. I think they can see Sam Osborne fitting quite well into the Kelly gang. And who knows, we might see Brad Alexander in a PWA ring teaming with the Kelly gang very soon. Yeah. But I think Sam Osborne will do a really good job.
Yeah, so do I. I agree with that. I just makes me sad seeing the Kelly gang out there with no BA, but Sam Osborne is a perfect third man there, easy. And let's talk about the other tag match. Let's do the Babes versus the BSCG. Well, we know one member of the BSCG, the OG, is the Concrete Davidson, and mystery partner, taking on Maddie Warburg, who, I'm sorry, but should be in a freaking world title match this month. But anyway, and Maddie Warburg and Mr. Carter Deems. Maddie Warburg should be having a title shot. I don't know why Ugg is, running scared of Maddie Warburg. Maddie Warburg has put the challenge out there so many times. Why is Ugg just not answering any challenges from Maddie Warburg? He deserves a title shot, but first things first, he needs to reclaim his respect of his beer pong undefeated streak, because Conco made a dent in his undefeated streak. Well, technically against the Babes, Maddie Warburg will claim that he wasn't there, so it wasn't a loss for him. But yeah, first off, who do you think the mystery partner is? And how do you see this match playing out? I feel it's going to be a good, fun match. I don't know how much wrestling it's going to be. I feel there's going to be a lot of good comedy spots, but it's going to be good nonetheless. What do you think about it?
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, Greg, curious question for you, man. Have you been shopping recently?
I have not.
Mate, well, I've got some good news for you. I know you're not a big fan of crowds, as most of us here at the B Plus aren't. Have you heard of Threadbox?
I have heard of Threadbox.
Man, then you would know how good they actually are. I mean, I just received my first crate, and holy moly, I'm amazed. Guys, if you're listening, go check out threadbox.com.au. And they have everything from hats to socks to shirts to pants. It's fantastic. With email to a personalized stylist and customizable crates, it's honestly one of the best things I've had. I don't know about you, Greg, but I really enjoy it.
I got a crate the other day, and they gave me new jeans, a couple of new shirts, and the cool thing is, one of the shirts I tried it on, and it was a little bit long for me, and I thought this accentuates how short I am in person, and so I sent them an email, and I was just like, hey. This shirt, I feel like it makes me look really short because I'm kind of short. And they were like, send it back. We'll give you something else next month, like an extra thing. So I'm going to send that shirt back. And then next month, they're going to send me out something else. And I said to them, I've got lots of shirts. And they were like, well, we'll send you some accessories. And that's how Threadbox do it. It's kind of fantastic.
See, how good's that? And with our special code, the B Plus 15 at checkout, actually saves all our fans 15% at checkout on their first box. How cool is that?
Yeah, so head to threadbox.com.au today and use the code the B Plus 15 to get your first box as soon as you can.
I'm pumped for this match. I am pumped for Concrete Davidson coming out in the black shirt cool group debuting finally. Who is the mystery partner? Well, there's been some names thrown out there, but one that would really make me pop, as it were, would be after all of this Caveman running scared, for Caveman Ugg to be a member of the black shirt cool group. It's unlikely, I know, but just something about the babes coming out and then Conco coming to the ring. They've got a bit of a, they've got a bit of a thing where they think that Conco is a loser, and the black shirt cool group is pathetic, basically. Imagine the PWA champion coming out, who is not affiliated with anyone else, much like Conco, in a black shirt, not running away from the challenge, but in fact teaming with Conco to get some on the babes.
Right. Because I hadn't even thought about Ugg as a mystery partner. That's a very good take. Like you said, might not be a thing, but that's a very good take. I like that. But so the not too easy, I shouldn't say easy because we're not bloody bookers and PWA are going to outbook me anyway. But the two thoughts that I had were easily, obviously, Fudge. Conco and Fudge. Is he the first member of the Black Shirt Cool Group? Or Party Boy Jax? We know he got quite frustrated last time, and he's his hair is changing. It's now black, and so is there a bit more of an emo Party Boy Jax coming out, and to get revenge on Matty Warburg and Carter for the last couple of months. So they're the two easy responses for me, but I didn't even think of Ugg. And then God knows who else is out there that maybe it's BA. No, I'm joking. But yeah.
Look, I don't think you're wrong, actually, because the good thing about watching PWA back on PWA Play is you get the little Easter eggs. You get the backstage interviews with Heather, who I think is now calling herself Frankie B. She interviewed Jax Jordan at the last show, and unfortunately he didn't get the win. And he sort of said that he needed some backup and he had an idea. So there's certainly a bit of a tease there that he could very well be that the other member of the Black Shirt Cool group. And as you said, there's definitely motivation there to get a little bit of revenge against the Babes and Matty Wahlberg in particular. So we could very well see Jax Jordan taking on that role. The reason I went with Caveman Ugg was just, if you see Matty Wahlberg's social media, he is just like an actual MMA fighter. He's just tweeting his opponent over the matchup he wants, I should say, over and over again. Like, Ugg's running scared, Caveman, why are you running, and all this sort of thing. And yeah, I just thought what a response it would be if Ugg was the man to come out with Caveman, but with Conko, I should say. But look, I think it probably will be Jax Jordan. I don't think they'll use Big Fudge at the moment. And then I guess it comes down to, if that's the case, who wins. So what do you think, Mikey? If it's Jax Jordan versus and Conko versus the Babes, who do you think gets the win?
I think the Babes get the win regardless, unless it's Ugg or the other guy, potentially Rogers. But if he's not going to join Velocities, why would he join Black Shirt Cool Group? But someone like if it was someone like that, if it was a heavyweight like a Rogers, an ARG, something like that, then potentially BSTG has a chance. But yeah, no. I believe Babes all the way, regardless of who the mystery partner is. But what do you reckon about what I said about Matty Wahlberg? Like I love the guy to death. Without sounding like too much of a freaking schoolboy mark, but do you believe Matty should be getting a title shot and should be? I know he needs to rectify these things first, but do you reckon he should be up for a title shot straight away? I mean,
yeah, it's a tough question. Firstly, I just want to say congratulations to him. He and a number of wrestlers took part in a tryout for Fale Dojo, and he was in fact selected for Fale Dojo. So congratulations, Matty Wahlberg. Obviously, all your talent has shined through yet again, and you're now going to be training with Fale in that dojo, which has produced, there's other alumni such as Tyler Payne and Matty Wahlberg's tag team partner Carter Deems that have come out of that dojo, and obviously the Philippe brothers as well are there. So some fantastic talent being chosen for that dojo. But yeah, getting back to your question, it's a tough one because he beat Jimmy Havoc in a death match, and it was an incredible match, and Matty Wahlberg did a phenomenal job taking care of Jimmy Havoc at his own game. But I still think there's more work to be done. He needs to build himself up further to get himself into title contention. There's still a lot of hungry sharks in the shark tank, if that makes sense. A lot of hungry lions all battling it out for that role to take on Caveman Ugg. So I think Matty does need to do some more. And who knows, if the partner does in fact happen to be Caveman Ugg, and they can get a win in tag team action over Caveman Ugg, then there's no doubt that Matty Wahlberg should have a title shot against Caveman Ugg. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think the Babes get the win here as well, regardless of who the tag team partner is, because I think Matty Wahlberg is destined. I said on a podcast previously that I think that that Matty Wahlberg will be holding the PWA championship before the end of this year. And I stick by that. I think that he will build to that match. I just don't think it'll be just it. The reason that it's not happening right now is that there's some more things to happen. He needs to win some more matches to put himself in that position, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I can't believe I've bloody skimmed over the Matty Wahlberg Fale Dojo stuff. That is absolutely awesome. Just shows an awesome list of Fale Dojo guys coming out of Australia and New Zealand. But yeah, good on them. the Babes are conquering not just Australia, now the Farley Dojo, and hopefully one day Warburg and Carter dominating New Japan. That'd be amazing to see. It's just an amazing time for Australian wrestling, and Matty Warburg deserves all the credit he gets. But let's take it to the main events of the evening. The reason why we're all here, the Colosseum tournament final, for that amazing black metal sword. It is green versus red. There are two things I want to discuss about this, not just the match, not just the tournament, but the freaking promo that they released this week in regards to this match. That video package promo is one of the best video package promos I have seen in Australian pro wrestling in general. That was so well done. This PWA audio visual crew is just doing an amazing job. Though it's like that Matty Warburg promo before Jimmy Havoc and this one, they're just killing it. And even like the intro to the last show, Die Havoc Die, that show, the intro to the PWA play show, like they're just doing an amazing job. But first off, what do you think of the promo? What have you think? What have you thought about the tournament itself, and what do you think about this final matchup?
Three fantastic questions that I could talk about for 3 hours, but I'll try and keep it short. That promo was, I said it on Twitter. It was world class. You said it was one of the best videos in Australia. I completely agree, and it's up there on the world stage. I would see that in before a match on a wrestling pay-per-view, and it would belong there. For as far as someone like a WWE or a New Japan or something like that, it was fantastic. It really told the story well in a very short 5 minutes. Basically, this whole story, this rivalry, this brotherhood, but sometimes that brotherhood, there's a butting of heads, and it comes to this match. So, what I recommend to anybody that's going to the show, or they're a fan of PWA, or hell, you're a fan of Australian professional wrestling, go onto PWA's YouTube page and watch that 5-minute promo just to get an understanding of what we're talking about, because that is the level of video presentation that PWA have been bringing, like you said, Mikey, to their PWA play events, and then also to their promotion for matches and for shows. The wrestling, there's no doubt the wrestling at PWA is top notch, but we can safely say that their production value is top notch as well, and that's why they're easily put in the top 2 when it comes to Australian wrestling promotions. So that in itself addresses the promo video. Fantastic. The Colosseum tournament itself has been really, really good. I was actually thinking about it just before, and this tournament started back in October, and it featured 8 of the very best in Australian professional wrestling. Jack J. Blonza, AJ Istria, Ricky South, who replaced Kellyanne and did a phenomenal job, Paris De Silva, Unsocial Jordan, Kyle Fletcher, Damian Slater, and Mick Moretti. And the battles we got along the way, were grueling. They tested the mettle and character of each grappler, who could find something their opponent could not, who could reach a level their opponent could not. And by the end of December, we got our answer, and that was 2 members of the Four Nations, Jack J. Bonza, Mick Moretti, the current PWA Tag Team Champions, coming together, but not as a unit this time. They're going to be standing at opposite corners. And they're going to have a battle which I think could very well be match of the year when we get to the end of 2019. I know it's a big call, but those two guys, they've held PWA championship gold in the form of the tag team belts, but Jack J. Bonza had a massive reign as PWA heavyweight champion, and so is Mick Moretti. Both guys holding the titles, for hundreds of days, representing us very well in places like Chikara, in World Series Wrestling as well, taking on some of the world's best. And then they've taken on some of Australia's best as well in this tournament. So this is going to be an incredible match. This is a coin flip for me. I don't know who to pick. I'm very conflicted.
I know. I've had Greg tell me all week how conflicted he is over this. Yeah, like the tournament. The tournament has just been an absolute success. I know there are rumors that they want to aim for a 2-day week, like an all-weekend tournament event next year. I've kind of liked it staggered out, but I see how it might be easier to book all over one weekend if that was an option. This match, like you said, it's a flip of the coin. Now two bold-headed men, Mick Moretti with a completely brand new look. Look, my heart. I'm gonna go with my heart and not my head on this. Most of the card I've booked on my head of what I think is gonna happen. My heart is Mick Moretti. I'm always Green Nation. I love Bonza, but I'm going to go with Moretti. I think the love and admiration that he has shown for that sword, I think that's going to bring him over the line. And I think Mick Moretti has had a really, really big few years. I mean, he's one of the guys, amongst others, but he's one of the biggest leaders of this whole Now We Conquer and all this. He's been one of the faces of Australian pro wrestling, trying to give it new life, and he has had an amazing year in ring, out of ring. I believe the black metal sword is going to be the culmination of an amazing 12 months that he's had. My heart says Mick Moretti. Sorry, Bonds. Sorry.
Look, going back to the promo video very quickly, the interesting thing to note, which possibly pushes me more towards Jack J. Bonza, is that Mick Moretti is obsessed with this game of getting under Jack J. Bonza's skin and attacking this weakness of his ego, where the crowd cheers for Moretti and boos for Bonza. My concern is the focus he has over this game might actually be throwing him off his own game, where Jack J. Bonza is focused. He is laser focused. And he's a phenomenal strategist. He doesn't wear the camo red attire because it looks cool. I think it's very much because he considers himself a ring general, and he strategizes about all of his opponents to break them apart technically. And he's got a point to prove. I mean, this tournament is when it was announced, it's for the best grappler in Australia, and he constantly calls himself the best technical wrestler in Australia. This is his chance to prove it. He gets to prove it against a guy who he sees as his brother. But I think that he is going to come in with a laser focus that if Mick Moretti is not prepared for, Mick could be bundled out of this tournament in the very last match. And just quietly, Jack J. Bonza can be heard in that promo saying, "I really want that fucking sword." So he loves that sword just as much as Moretti. It's a beautiful sword, by the way. I can't wait. I hope we get to see it in the flesh on Friday. I imagine we will. But yeah, because you've gone Moretti, I've been thinking about it. Jack J. Bonza, he's the wrestler you can set your watch to. I'm going to set my watch to Jack J. Bonza on Friday. I think he'll win the Colosseum tournament.
No, fair enough. It's green versus red, Mike versus Dan. There we go. I'm so excited for this card. Look, let's start wrapping this up. I just want to grab in two little extra promos. Touched on it at the start of the show. There is a pre-show for the Fight for Black Metal tomorrow. This will be released tomorrow morning. So, the Fight for Black Metal pre-show Thursday, February the 21st at 7 p.m. Live on Twitch. You'll be hosted by Frankie B. That shall be interesting. I'm excited to see what that's all about and what we'll get from that. And then, obviously, the show is this Friday night at Max Watts, the very special Max Watts, one of the best arenas I've been to, best places I've been to for wrestling ever. Should note that all seated tickets are sold out, but there are some mezzanine level seats remaining. Myself and my company, or the guys that I'm going with, we're actually doing the mezzanine for the first time. I haven't done a mezzanine before. I've only ever done floor seats, but I'm going to get a above ring view. It'd be interesting to see how it goes from there. But yeah, there are still some Mez tickets available on maxwattstickets.oztix.com.au. So if you're still interested in seeing this show, I really, really beg you to go get a ticket. This is going to be an amazing show. Is there anything else that you wanted to drop in there?
Look, just touching on what you said there. Firstly, about the mezzanine view, that's actually the recommended view from PWA. They think it's the best spot in the building. So if you're thinking about it and you're saying, "Oh, they've sold all the floor seats out, it's not worth it," it couldn't be further from the truth. Get up there and they had the merch table and that up there at the last show. So I went and had a bit of a peek at what the mezzanine view is like, and it looks awesome. You have a bird's eye view of what's going on. So I think you're really going to enjoy the view there, Mikey. I also just want to say how awesome it is that PWA are using Twitch. They're doing some video game streaming where the wrestlers are playing Super Smash Brothers, which is pretty cool. I'm sure they'll get other games involved. But then much like Impact and some other wrestling promotions, they're actually using Twitch to promote their shows as well, which is great. So to have a live pre-show tomorrow night, on Thursday night, I should say, is really exciting. And like you, I'm pretty keen to see what it's all about. But the most important thing is this Friday night, we see who finally is the best grappler in Australia between Jack J. Bonza and Mick Moretti. Red versus green, order versus chaos, brother versus brother, boo versus cheer. You know, it's going to be something very special. And I stand by my words. I think that at the end of this year, I think we'll look back and in our matches for 2019, this match will be it will be hard pressed not to make this our number one match. So if you're thinking about going, bloody well buy a ticket and get there. I'll be there. You're going to be there, Mikey. Yeah. You do not want to miss this show.
It's going to be a fantastic night. Get down there early, get in line early, so you get good seats. Well, you're front row, so you know where you're sitting. But did you have anything else?
Oh, look, mate. I think we've said all that we can say about the show. But if you want to find me on social media, you can find me at PNR Wrestling on Twitter. You can also search for me, Potato and Receipt, on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm trying to get more active. I've been a bit slack lately, so I apologize to people that do follow me currently. I'm getting on top of a couple of things, and I'll be firing on all cylinders, hopefully, as well. Look me up on any of those platforms, and feel free to message me and chat about wrestling. I love talking about wrestling.
Yeah, as do I. And if you want to talk more wrestling with me, Big Boy Mikey, You can find me on bigboy_Mikey86 on Twitter and Instagram. We are collectively the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter, the B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do. And thank you so much for listening.
Hold one. Arm drag.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
So, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it. Dummy. Hold three. The moss covered.